This morning, our spotlight is on the father of missing baby Emmanuel Haro. He's speaking out for the first time from behind bars. Now, it's been almost 3 weeks since Jake and Rebecca Haro told police that their infant son had been kidnapped from a store parking lot. Following searches at their home, police arrested the couple and they've been charged with the murder of their 7-month-old baby. But still, there's no sign of baby Emmanuel. This is what authorities believe has happened to him.
Do you believe you know how baby Emmanuel died or was killed, and is there anything you can share?
The filing in this case reflects our belief that baby Emmanuel was abused, a victim of child abuse over time, and that eventually, because of that abuse, he succumbed to those injuries.
Now, Jake Haro reportedly joined investigators in the search for baby Emmanuel, but still no sign of him. And in the interview with the Southern California News Group, Jake would not confirm that he helped in the search, but insisted that he's innocent and has been completely cooperative. When asked what he would say to his baby Emmanuel, he responded, "I love you, buddy." So let's talk about this case. Let's bring back in retired NYPD Detective Rob O'Donnell, also formerly with the NYPD, private investigator Manuel Gomez with Black Ops Private Investigators. Manuel, let me begin with you, please. Where does the search go from here?
Well, unfortunately, I think the search will still continue in the area where he originally took them, because as I stated in the past, there's mountain lions, there's vultures, there's coyotes that are in that area that would clearly take a baby. And I doubt he dug a deep grave. And unfortunately, there's a lot of predators in that area that would take the remains of that body. But the one thing about this case that nobody's talking about and needs to focus on is the outrageousness of the judge's decision, Julie. This case shows the red flags in our judicial system, that there's currently no guardrails in place to remove a judge who is judicially incompetent. Right now, judges across the United States can be unlimited decisions overturned for improper rulings, and they still stay on the bench. Right now, our system relies on the public's belief that our judicial system is fair, just, and equitable. It is not just when we leave a justice like this still on the bench. He needs to be removed.
I appreciate what you're saying there, Manuel. So for anybody who doesn't know what happened here, so Jake Haro had a felony child abuse case for badly hurting his 10-week-old baby girl. And this was a few years ago. And the district attorney, when he gave a press conference, he said essentially what you said, Manuel, that this was just an outrageous decision by the judge to give this man what's called a suspended sentence, essentially, you know, and probation. I never like suspended sentences. I feel like it's like a legal fiction. You know, you're either incarcerated or you're not. Here he was not. And so the DA says that's how this murder happened. Let's take a listen.
In this case, a judge here in Riverside County, happened to have been a visiting judge from San Bernardino County, gave Mr. Haro a suspended sentence, which means, if I can translate for you what that is, it means that instead of sending him to prison, he chose to give him probation. I will say that it was an outrageous error in judgment by this judge. And I don't have any problem saying that. I'm not attacking the judge personally. That decision was absolutely outrageous. Mr. Haro should have been in prison at the time that this crime happened. And if that judge had done his job as he should have done, Emmanuel would be alive today.
And the DA also noted that this was over the DA's office objection, that the prosecutors on the case did in fact object. Rob O'Donnell, what's that like when you're asking for someone to stay incarcerated, you know, to have a sentence of incarceration, whatever the case is, bond or sentencing, whatever, and the judge goes against what the recommendation is from your DA?
Well, it's infuriating, and you see here the results of that. We have a child that's no longer with us because of the negligence of this judge. And make no mistake, the prior guest was 100% right. This is the negligence on the judge. This child would still possibly be with us today if this person was in jail and punished to the extent he should have been punished for. I also want to applaud the investigators in this. And in any case, you can never go into these cases with tunnel vision. And we know how this stopped with a possible abduction in a parking lot. You can't go into any case that started an investigation with tunnel vision and just purely looking at that. And in a time of finite resources, to look at everything as you come into this, to where we saw where this case specifically went. That's why things take time in these investigations. That's why if you're ever involved in an investigation as a victim or as a family member of a victim, things may not be moving as fast as you would like them to, because investigators, we are looking at every possible scenario, and this way you can prioritize resources to kind of focus on where you think this is going, and not shortly into this they started to go with there was foul play here.
This is really helpful insight you're sharing, Rob. Thank you for that. I want to ask you both the same question. If this guy is cooperating, he's saying he's cooperating, his words, not mine. So if he's willing to talk with detectives, then what tactics do you use to try to get to the truth with him if you do in fact believe that he did this homicide? Manuel, I'll start with you, please.
Well, with a guy like this, one of the things you're going to use is you're going to offer him sentence reduction. You're going to tell him that he can get the death penalty, which is clearly on the table in this situation. Okay, and you can let him know that he can get, instead of 40 years, he might get 10 years. That's one of the tactics they're going to be using this. It's clear to me that he's playing the police. He's trying to tell them, yeah, I'm going to help you. I'm going to work with you. I'm going to make a deal with you and write it out. And it's proven to me that happened, because he wouldn't have been out there searching for that body with them if he didn't cut a deal with his attorney. That's a fact. The thing is that I don't believe he's going to show exactly where the body is, because he's going to make it look like, well, you know what? I tried, but the body wasn't there, or I really didn't kill the kid. And he keeps flip-flopping back in the story. So he's a liar. But I do believe that the jury's going to find this guy guilty, regardless of not having a body, which is going to make it extremely difficult for the prosecutor to prosecute in this case.
Rob, same question to you, please. What tactics would you use with this guy?
With his past history of abuse here that we now know and is documented, pulling on his heartstrings as a father is probably going to be difficult, but you would go in that direction to say, hey, let's give your child a place of rest. Let's get some conclusion here. You as a man, you as a father, you as a person, you need to help us here, because you are going to spend your time in jail. There's no getting away from that. But you can do the right thing here. You can make up for the wrongs you did, and kind of get him in a personal place to where you kind of coax him to agree with him. We can make this better by you telling us the truth. And in fact, you're just looking to get the prosecution that you need to get on this case, because without the body, it is going to be difficult. The prior case, a defense attorney is going to do everything they can to make that non-admissible. So the jury may never know that.
Right. Excellent points you both are making. And for anybody who missed the DA's press conference, he said it's their belief that it was a series of abusive incidents, not just one, a series of incidents that then ultimately led to the death of this poor child. The search continues. Any developments, we will report it. Rob O'Donnell and Manuel Gomez, I could talk to you both all day. Thank you both so much for the insight this morning.